Hey guys, it's Wake here with another video. This one happens to be a big video or a long battle from my Lizardmen campaign in the same series of the previous two videos. This is from much earlier in the campaign when I'm still fighting for the Lustrian jungles. I haven't moved over to the Southland yet. This is Mazdamuni, my man, with his main army, kind of leading up to his OP army later in the campaign. But right now, this was a hard battle because there was such a large force, and it's orcs, and that's not a good thing. Saurus or Lizardmen are one of the best factions to go toe-to-toe melee with orcs because Saurus trade really well. But even then, it's not an easy fight, and I think I end up... This was a tough and long battle. So I'm going to go ahead and start it up. This is actually a little bit into the battle, but it takes a little bit to set up so I can kind of go through things. I started over here. I knew I was going to get a reinforcing army. This reinforcing army, however, is almost completely skinks, I think. I can't remember exactly what the setup for battles. I knew I was going to have to fight it, and I needed something more than the army I had, but I couldn't make enough Saurus. I couldn't make any more Saurus warriors, I don't think. So I had to do with just a ton of skinks. I think this old blood right here was either fresh, brand new, newly recruited, or only a few turns old, and he brought his massive force of skinks with him. Now I'm facing Savage Orcs, and they have a fair few guys. I mean, their mainstay of the army is their Savage Orc regular unit, but I know they have some Savage Orc 4 boys, and I think some Savage Orc 4 boy big uns, and I actually think they have some regular big uns too. I know they have arrow boys. And they obviously have a war boss who is absolutely massive in our mod and should be. War bosses are the war boss because they are the biggest orc in the bunch. Especially with this many orcs, it's got to be a big one. So I have some blessed chameleon skinks that I'm using to skirmish the front of this army. I have one unit of Croxagors from Mazdamundi's force. In his force also is a Bastiladon and some skink cohorts of basically very good veterans. They have one silver chevron each, but that's very important, especially for skinks, especially in this battle where melee or morale will become a huge important factor later on. A bunch of pretty good veteran skink javelins. These guys are skink cohorts with either no veterancy or only one. Not very good. Same with these guys. Most of these skinks, especially the ones with no veterancy, what they're for is they're there for meat shields. They're there to hold the line, soak up some damage, exhaust orcs. They're not going to be able to kill orc units effectively, efficiently by themselves at all. They just don't do enough damage. They're not big enough. They're not mean enough. So I'm really going to have to do things effectively. And the things that are really going to win me this battle are my Saurus, which I thought I had more units of. This is kind of scary. I've had a vague recollection of this battle, but perhaps much more closer than I'm even thinking, because I'm seeing I only have 2 units of Saurus warriors and then my Temple Guard who are defending Mazdamundi. So what is going to end up happening here is I'm really going to lean on my better units here, like my Croxagors, my Bastiladon, Mazdamundi, my Saurus, and even my skinks with javelins. Those are going to be really important because javelins can actually hurt orcs effectively. Unlike just skink melee, like it's not gonna, their melee is just not gonna cut it. So these guys are really important. Temple Guard really important. Probably the VIP, the most important person in battle though, definitely gonna be Mazdamundi. At this point, he's got Power Stone, which helps with his reach. I mean, he's I can't remember what level he is. I'm gonna say like 10 or something like that. But he has a ridiculous amount of magic. And he starts with a ridiculous amount of magic. This is not a vanilla caster at all. This is a game-winning spellcaster ad nauseum. He's kick ass, and this is not even him at his best. This is him early on in the campaign. So I've got his Net of Amontok, which I don't think I use in this battle. I've got Apotheosis. This is the one I think I happen to be using the most in this battle. This is the winner for me because it's 20. It costs 20 Winds of Magic, and it's got a shorter recharge. I think at this point I had spec'd into this one a lot. So, and I think in this, you know, he's getting like 300, I think, Winds of Magic battle, like plus, or I think like a little bit more than maybe 400 at this point. So we're talking like, you know, 20 uses of this thing, which is good, and it's needed. Then I've got Harmonic Convergence. I think I used that maybe once or twice. Regrowth, another one more expensive. Tempest, not a use at all. Soul Quench, I maybe used that once or twice. Then he's got all of his, you know, from his casting special abilities, like the lore attributes. Okay, so that's he's gonna come in clutch for a lot of this battle. I've got to protect him and kill all the orcs. I think this battle actually ends up being really close. And this is against the AI. Now this is two armies. They have one full Savage Orc army, and I think there's like a little garrison army that they actually got buffed with. But this, it's just that they're orcs. And anybody who's played Awake's Realism Mod or has an experience with will tell you orcs are scary in the mod. They are not something to be trifled with. The main way to beat them is by giving them a lot of morale shocks, like a heavy shock to their morale. This is best used, but if you're like the Empire, like cavalry or gunpowder. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of the big mean stuff in my army right now, even Lizardmen are known for that, to really give them that shock that I need to. So I'm actually gonna have to win this battle through attrition, and that is just such a tall tower to climb when you're facing orcs. Like, if I wasn't playing Lizardmen and didn't have access to Saurus and Mazdamundi, it would be tough. Like, I don't know, there's certain armies that you could definitely get away with it. You know, if you're high elves, they have enough archers and enough projectiles that it could be doable in certain other armies. But if you had like even a nice Empire army right now, would really have issues with this, unless you had the, like I said, the morale shock units, something like cavalry, gunpowder. Now the reason I've got my Bastiladon out here to the front is I'm basically gonna use this guy as a linchpin. I'm gonna send him in, hope he gets bogged down by all of the orcs, and then I can sort of encircle the orcs that have you know, chased after him, because he is one of the most tankiest units in the game in our mod, and he is going to be able to sustain even continuous onslaught from, I mean, if they had like really scary stuff, I'd be worried, but most of what they have is orc boys, and orc boys will slaughter humans and human-sized infantry, but they don't do so well against a Bastiladon. So I'm not super worried about him, and I'm going to use him as sort of bait, is the plan. Works semi-well, you'll see, I think. Could have probably done a little bit better micro, basically, here. But this is kind of my layout. Now my plan is, let's give you a sort of idea. Yeah, I'm moving in. I'm going to try and move into the forest. I have a better, they have more projectiles than me, and I'm worried about the orc arrow boys, because their arrows actually do a lot of damage, because orcs have bows that are such high weight because of their strength. They're not very accurate, but they do a lot of damage. So one of the ways I want to mitigate that was actually to come to the forest here. And what I'm going to end up trying to do is create like a U in this forest to try and destroy these guys in front of me. You know, send all my Source Warriors in front, really beat the front of this section and try to destroy their middle, their center, and then kind of use the skinks to wrap around my flanks to defend myself from these inevitable counterattacks that are going to come on both sides. That was the plan anyway. Definitely maybe could have gone better. We'll see. We'll see how it goes this game. Yeah, they're shooting right away. See, now this is archers. There's two problems here. Orcs are not very accurate anyway. They're also firing in a forest, in a jungle, and it's just not hitting him very much. So this guy's got 25,000 health. Nothing to scope at. One of the big reasons he's so tanky though is that AP or that armor. 150 armor. That's no joke in Awakes. That's a big deal. We got Savage Orc boys. Let's see, their weapon strength. Weapon strength of Savage Orc Boys is 84 damage, 9 armor piercing. Okay, here's the kicker here. This is why this is important. They basically can kill a human in one hit, right? With 84 damage. Even if a human has a lot of like good heavy plate on, they're not gonna spend much time on that human. But because it's a Bastillon that has so much health, and these guys don't have much AP damage, they're not gonna do super well on him, which was the impetus to use him for that reason in this way. I actually ended up using him a lot in the campaign, basically for that purpose. Especially early on, there's not a lot of elite units, so your elite units become even more important. The Temple Guard, for instance, kick ass, as they should. So I'm moving in here. Kroxigor, another tanky unit I'm going to have to keep a hold of. So the econ is not worked into the in this particular update, but it will be in the future, where you're going to have access to excuse me. You're going to have access to Skinks and Kroxigor and like the low tier units pretty much right away in the campaign. Like everything will be changed from how it is in vanilla. So if you can think of it, basically right from the get-go, you're gonna have armies that you can assemble out of like Skinks, all the different kinds of Skinks and Kroxigor. You're not gonna have to like really, especially Lizardmen, because Lizardmen will have the absolute slowest growing economy and settlement structures in the game. They'll have the best garrisons, they'll have some of the best economy, but it won't be particularly useful to the Lizardmen because nothing in their stuff is particularly. Moving in. I ran. I think at that point they actually made a charge, and I had to make decisions. So I sent my Pistolodon in, and now I think I'm going to start forming up. This definitely could have gone better for me. I didn't. I don't think I microed this super well because I didn't form up fast enough. I wasn't expecting them to charge. I was kind of expecting them. They seemed very like they weren't moving, so I was kind of expecting to move into position there. But now I know I got to get rid of the center real quick, so I'm moving. And as you can see in the background, all these guys are starting to flank me. This side's coming in too. I had to move in my source real quick. I want to take these guys out as fast as possible, and I'm worried here. Now I think I end up, yeah, there's a Boar Boy unit, I think. Oh yeah, I do end up using Netta Amatak on these guys because they hit me. They're one of the first units that hit me on the side here, and I really wanted to get rid of them really quickly because they can just slaughter Skinks. So I need to get rid of them as fast as possible. I send in my Source Spears and handle them. Savage Orc Boys coming in, hitting me on the side here. I'm starting to rearrange Skinks, getting them into formation. He's playing a little touch and go with the Savage Orcs, kind of coming in and out. I think he's going to end up eventually thinking, oh, this is a good idea. I'm going to flank around. Not sure where these boys are going. Oh, they're trying to fight this one Orc Boar Boy way in the back here. And I think my boy, Maz is over here. And he gives a big leadership bonus, which is why he's... Whoa, that Temple Guard got flung. I don't know what happened there. Something hit him. He's applying a leadership bonus. I just got to worry about him getting singled out and hit with archers at this point. We're kind of getting hit along. Yep, see there's, I think that might be a regrowth, might be Apotheosis. Yeah, it's Apotheosis. Because they were hurting at this point. You can see how fast that health's dropping, even with Apotheosis. Mazda Mundi's Apotheosis is no joke. They replenish his health quick. So their health is, and you can see that health dropping still. It was at 5,000 mere seconds ago. Now it's at 4,200. And that's just because, much like Source Warriors, orcs are larger entities, and they hit. Well, no, I'm sorry, not regular orcs. Regular orcs are still, they just came below the cutoff, where they still count as like smaller entities. Big guns count as what basically would be similar to Source. And there you see, I knew I had to do something over on this flank because it's just skink holding this flank, and they're not doing a good job. So I sent the old blood over here to try and see if we can't stymie this quickly growing problem. And that was, I mean, that apotheosis right there, that's out of desperation more than anything. Even now, you know, I'm having my skink chameleons coming back. I have reserves here, but I'm already really worried. I don't like how quickly my skinks are losing on the flanks here. You can see the skinks are just getting absolutely massacred. And these Saurus are not killing these Savage Orcs as quickly as I need them to. If they could have killed them, you know, far quicker than they had, I might have had a winning strategy here. But my plan did not work because of how tanky orcs are, and they're just not dying fast. Time for slaughtering! Now, my Bastiladons get pummeled over here by their war boss and a unit of Savage Orcs, but you can see he's just so tanky. He's just taking this damage. Whatever they're throwing at him, he's got. Probably the war boss is the best chance of hurting him. But I don't think even a war boss. I have to double check. Let's check this. Yeah, we got 76 AP and 230 regular damage, so that's not bad. And that's probably the majority of this damage being applied here, but it's just not enough to get that Bastiladon down. Unfortunately, more Savage Orcs joining the fray. At this point, I'm particularly worried. My Toxic Guards are starting to lose a lot of health. I keep applying Apotheosis or Mazdamundi's Harmonic Convergence. In this case, really beefing up these Saurus even more so than they already were. I think they have a ridiculous amount of melee attack and melee defense now. But even then, it's this attrition is just not going well for me. And these skinks are getting absolutely murdered. At this point, I had to do something on this side. So I'm going to flank around my chameleon skinks and try and hit these guys in the back with poisonous projectile rounds from the blowpipes there. And even on this side, I mean, you take an aerial view look. I think I had enough reserves here that I'm going to try and take them around and flank these orcs. Try to get them in the rear. You know, try and do something. But I mean, look at this. This skink. I think they've already killed one skink unit or caused it to rout. Right there, and they're absolutely blowing through this other one, and they really haven't suffered any damage at all. Yeah, the four units of Savage Orcs over here haven't even lost a single model. They're just blowing through these skinks. So what I'm going to end up doing is having these guys come around the rear. Hopefully give them a nice rear charge. These Savage Orc War Boys are still not dead. I even have my Scar Vets over here doing as much work as he can. I think I had my Saurus Spears are still engaging. The problem was, one of the problems is they're a little bit more compacted now, but especially when that initial charge they had over here that I had to retaliate against really left everybody so scattered that you can see, I mean, my Saurus Spear guys are kind of all over the place here. You know, they're interspersed. And that's because they had to run through like 3 units of skinks to even get at these war boys. And I think that this AI is going to try and disengage here. And I can't let that happen. These guys in the charge are mean, especially, mainly the skinks. They could really cause me problems. So I really got to try and push this. I'm just trying to hold my line. I think there's still some units of skinks that I left on guard mode and trying to not let too many Savage Orcs through here. I think many of the Savage Orc Arrow Boys at this point are almost out of ammo. My Mazzundi was getting pinged for a while. He still might be. In my attempt to save him, I think I put him behind a tree. I put as many trees as I could in between him and the archers. Still taking arrows to the, whatever that thing is, cheek. I've got, harmonic convergence, and I think a regrowth just popped as well. In here somewhere. Lost the model on the Croxigors. They're almost down to half health. Just not doing as much as I need them to be doing. And Croxigors only got 14 kills. Again, the main purpose of the Croxigors is to tank and to make sure that the Skinks make it all the way to the end. These Source Warriors getting 22 kills. Not a whole lot. Temple Guard a little bit more. I mean, they're just not doing so well against. They're really, really mean. Orcs. Yeah. Some of these skink units are lucky to get 8 kills, let alone 2. I'm not sure put that away there. Yeah, look at this is I think I flanked here and it just didn't matter. Even coming in from the back, they just got absolutely massacred. I'm trying to shoot them as best I can now. It's looking bad, both flanks, to be honest with you. I'm lining up here. I'm coming in for a charge at this point. I think what happened here was these guys had javelins. I was able to get them into the back and really hit them with some javelins, which was really helpful. And probably these particular skinks, their main avenue of output of damage against orcs was javelins. I think I hit especially this unit enough over here to get them to start raging. I think these guys, no, they don't have any ammo left. I think I'm going to be charging them soon. So let's see, they got 10 kills, so not, even with the javelins, not that many kills. Of course, they probably did get more health damage. It's not always tied to, how many kills they can get, but definitely did some HP damage there. Still trying to get these Savage Orc Boar Boys down. Haven't quite made them rout yet. So the orcs are just so tanky, and the problem here is that most of my army is not very scary. It's made of skinks, and so I'm left with the fact that I can't really give them these morale shocks that I need to. And it's become really this battle of attrition. And the orcs love meaty battles of attrition. They excel at it. I mean, let's check out the orc kills real quick. 407 on these Savage Orc boys. Not good at all. Not something I like seeing. 230, 136, 120, 85, 65, 104, 118, 49, 92, 102. Guy running away. You got 115 off these boar boys. 118. I mean, these are all, there's 100 plus on every one of these Savage Orcs. Not good. I think I start out, I'm outnumbering initially them by 2,000. Look at these numbers. We have lost half of our forces here, and they have only lost 200. 200. And that's mainly because of the orcs, the Saurus that have done the damage here. Now, you look at those numbers and you think that is not good at all. That's a recipe for disaster. And I wasn't thinking this was going on. I was definitely on the back foot. I thought I really got to pull everything out of every single trick I can out of my hat here to try and win this battle. I'm still hammering these guys from the back with my chameleon skinks, trying to get them poisoned up. At this point, I think at some point here, I think I give this Source Old Blood like an apotheosis or a regrowth. And Mazzundi has been just hammering the spells this whole time. Unfortunately, I can't. I mean, he doesn't have any. He is mainly a kind of buff you want to put it like that, support magic user in the beginning of the campaign especially. His late game stuff is where his master spells are, so I don't think he has any kills. But he's been buffing. Without him, we easily would have lost this, easily. He's just been extremely vital. And at some point here, I'm going to give this Old Blood health increase, which is important later, because what ended up happening is all of these skinks, I mean the two that are over here left, end up running away. I think these are, nope. These guys end up running away, and this whole flank is held by this one Old Blood who doesn't get that many kills. I don't think he's really tight on kills. Yeah, he's got 2. But he's just super tanky and can handle these orc warriors enough so that they're occupied. Coming over here, we're still working on, we're still working on the Savage Orc 4 boys. I think for a while there, the skink, I had to get more. The problem is I don't have enough models on model contact to get a lot of damage in. These sword spears need to be in it. They need to be interspersed and lodged into this formation of Savage Orc boys, and they're just doing a great job of getting out of harm's way. Again, I think they might, I can't remember if they get off here. No, they're going to try to do a charge. And if they do, they get to charge in on my sword spears. But they get caught up again, hopefully, to get rid of them. So my sword scar veteran on this side, trying to hold the line, keeping these skinks in order, doing as much damage as he can, trying to stay alive. Same as the Old Blood, 2 kills on him. Skinks getting mopped up. Even the skinks who hit the orcs from behind, just not able to follow through. I mean, you can see the carnage left on the ground is just skink hell, and not a lot of orcs to go with it. Again, I'm watching this replay, and I'm thinking to myself, I look doomed. There's no way I'm going to win this. Aside from, and here's where I was like, oh, I gotta get this going. If I can get this Distillodon to kill this war boss in one-on-one combat, and it's looking like we're close to that as it is, that could be enough of a morale debuff on these orcs that maybe I'll have a chance long game. And the other thing that ends up happening with these community skinks, I think they are going to get meleeed a little bit here, but I think I have them run away, and they can either keep the speed, because they're fresh, and most of the orcs are exhausted, so they can end up hitting them as they're running off here, and the orcs can't keep up. So I can kind of keep these 2 units and more orcs in the future engaged. There go my skinks. I think the left flank has completely fallen. Aside from this Old Blood, but at this point I know I have to somehow buff. I gotta get him his health points back here. So I think I do end up giving him apotheosis or regrowth here in a second. And some, these skink units are rallying, many of them, and they're kind of coming back piecemeal, but it's like 10 skinks, and then you can't do much against orcs. They just charge and immediately sort of have issues. Oh, I think Mascamundi got hit by something there. He's low on health. Oh no, my mistake. I was looking at something else. Oh, these guys. This skink cohort. I do have another skink cohort in the middle. This is sort of the center of my lines. I wouldn't call them lines anymore. I would call it this section of the battle and that section of the battle. So big gaping hole here. Definitely a human would be able to exploit that. This would have been a really hard. I don't think I could have won this battle against a human player. It would have been extremely difficult. These skinks are on their way to Runsville. After all that, though, some of these orcs at least are some of them are at health, some of them lower, but I mean, look these kill counts are ridiculous. A lot of skinks went to their graves this day. 378, 343, 217, 181, 171. Not good tallies at all. And these were, so a lot of these were well, fresh, but there's definitely some veteran skinks in there. I think probably the skinks that are holding still are the veterans. I'm trying to find. No, I don't know. Maybe they might have already taken off here for sure. Oh, here's some skink cohorts, veterans. Yeah, my 2 veteran units over here. So I think I think I got their war boss to rout. I can't remember if he ends up coming back or not. I don't think so. I don't remember dealing with him for the rest of the game. So he's off. He just didn't like that fight with the Pistolodon. He wants to run to make it another day. Maybe he thinks his army has this fight. So you just end up being that they're so exhausted. Again, fatigue is such a big deal in Wakes that these guys are so exhausted that they can barely move at this point. They're having trouble going after these chameleon skinks, and even though the chameleon skinks are doing negligible damage at best, even with poison attacks, just the damage over time is causing these savage orcs to worry, and then eventually they're going to rout. But we're gonna have this back and forth with a rally rout for a while, which is going to be annoying. I did end up, we didn't see it, but I did end up, apotheosis on this little blood. And even some orc boar boy trying to go in for the, I don't know what unit of orc, that might even be still that one unit of orc boar boys that charged my line on the other side, but it might not have been because there was 2 units of them. There could be these guys right here. And again, if you're looking at this and thinking I'm screwed, you're not far from wrong. It is kind of a shitty situation to be in at the moment. Definitely not want to be these Temple Guard eye to eye with these orcs in the front line. Screaming match. Who's going to get the better? Even some savage orcs, archers who are in. And here the orcs are looking at my Temple Guard, those mean reptilian bastards, and a bunch of skinks, forts, Proxigors yelling at you too. Mazda in the back glowing green. More Warhammer Total War it should have been. You know, if we had maybe a Carnosaur or 2, this battle would have went completely differently. But as it stands, it's graveyard, skink graveyards for days. Over here we got my old blood around here somewhere. There he is. Trying his best not to get overwhelmed and die. Bodies of skinks and Proxigors. Not good stuff. Oh, there goes my skink cohorts. In danger of, well, we did get flanked there. That's not good. Mazdamundi is dangerously close to getting hit in the rear. I think I try to push him in as far as I can. Definitely, if they killed Mazdamundi, it would have been probably a loss at that point. It would have been enough morale damage that we would have routed. And the savage orcs would have had northern lustria to savage about. Yeah, look at this mess. Look at the blue bodies here. And well, there's like some, you know, again, you got a savage orc every once in a while. Not very often. Of course, we did finally start routing. I think, okay, here we go. Yeah, we finally started routing them. I'm not sure what the hit there was. But something we did caused essentially a mass rout. at least on this side of the battle. These guys are still, I mean, they're low. It's I think their war boss just recently actually crossed the threshold, so now they get that debuff. But these guys are, so they're exhausted. They're worried about Saurus, and they've sustained damage. And the combination of those things, at least on this side of the battlefield, was enough to get these guys to rout. Now the problem here is most of these units that routed are going to come back, and I know that. I know that these guys are going to rally, so I've got to somehow figure out, as we're doing over here, as you can see, I've got to figure out a way. How am I going to handle this? What am I going to do? Because they're just going to come back, and it's going to be attrition all over again, and I'm going to eventually lose that battle. So I think what's going on here is we're actually trying to kill these few guys who are trying to run away, and I didn't realize what was happening. I kept trying to tell them to move, but they weren't. So I was kind of late to getting into position. But I knew I needed support over on this side, especially since I'm close to breaking, and it's going back and forth. A moment ago, the orcs were close to breaking. Now I'm close to breaking. Hopefully, a little reader charge and sustained combat from the rear might help me in that morale victory. I'm sending as much of my chameleon skinks over here as I can to try and chase these guys off, because although they will rally if you don't let anything happen to them, if you keep charging after them and keep them harassed, they will rout all the way off. So I've got one unit of Saurus, I think spears, right? Yeah, spears that I sent over here to sort of chase after. The problem with that was even my Saurus spears are exhausted, and they weren't fast enough to get after these orcs before they rallied. And so these guys end up rallying, come after this, and because of that, these guys will rally, and it'll just become a cascade of they'll all end up hitting these spears. One of my skink units, I think, not just routed, or didn't rout, but got completely wiped out, died to a skink. Gave their lives to defend the Slan and Lustria against these Savage Orc Boar Boys. Savage Orcs. Look at these absolutely glorious skinks. 12 skinks in a unit, defending against 105 Savage Orcs in between the trees here. Absolute awesome bastards these guys are. Gonna die though. So I don't think I ended up hitting them in the rear quick enough for me to get that morale shock that I wanted, but I did end up taking the rest of what my guys were here, which I think was one unit of Saurus, I think in Temple Guard, or it might just be Temple Guard, in my Bastiladon, and trying to hold up this whole reformed mass of guys. And I've got my, I think, Old Blood 2 going in. I think I still haven't figured out what I want to do with my Croxigar. What ends up happening is the AI decides for me, because these brave skinks eventually do shatter. And now these unit of orcs is going to make a beeline for my Mazdamundi, and I had planned on trying to flank around with these Croxigars, but I'm like, nope, got to take care of this. So these Croxigars are going to try at some point to charge straight for these incoming orcs. Yeah, I see it. At that point I see it, and I think Mazdamundi in a precarious situation. He's going back and forth. He's trying to defer that leadership bonus, but he's going to go over here for the moment. This is the harder battle, I feel. This is the other Saurus Warrior unit I sent over here. I think I have 2 units of Saurus Warriors then. No, 1 skink and 1. So I mean, look, these guys are just going so slow because they're in jungle and they're exhausted. And here comes a charge in from the Savage Orcs, coming in on the Croxigar. That guy got wiped out. Coming back up, survived, lived to see another day. Coming in, cheering on. He says, "Is that all you got? Come on, Proxies." As they vomit green stuff all over these orcs. They only killed 28 guys. Again, not a very the best unit for killing things, but a great tanky unit. So still on the same way, 35 kills, but a lot of health left. I think I ended up using one Apotheosis or Regrowth on him. Oh Blood, still only 2 kills. Orcs are just so tough. They're not like, you know, Oh Blood's, if I were facing Skaven or something like that, this guy might have 30, 40 kills. Only 3 against Orcs, though. These Temple Guard, though, 164 kills, no joke when it comes to the masses of savage muscles. Oh, that's good cohort with 18 kills. That's actually MVP for Skinks, man. 81 kills. Too bad Mazamuni doesn't have any of his. He's still got 3 kills. Had a orc every once in a while snap through the line and try to go after him. And this is just a war of attrition. This is actually kind of one of the worst matchups for attrition, because you talk about 2 armies, especially Source and Orcs. Those units just have such big health pools and are such heavy units. And the other thing is, they're not neither one are very skilled at hitting things, so their melee weapon skill is not that good. I'm trying to move in here, trying to cause some of these guys to come after me, and then I'm gonna turn around, have them chase, and then hopefully get them to rout, because I need these guys to rout. Definitely, if they didn't, they still have some Savage Orc Core Boys. They would just come around and hit my Source in the rear, and that'd be the end of this little matchup over here. These guys still kind of were doing the routing, not routing game over here. I'm just trying to get them off the field for good. My Temple Guard still holding the line over here. Stillodon doing the same, trying to get him in the middle of that crowd best I can, try to optimize damage and stop as many of the models as I can. Still got their Savage Orc boys. Such a pain. But no, like I was saying, this is a bad matchup because of just the nature of both armies. Like, they're heavy hitters. Like, Orcs are not... They will massacre humans. If you do a full human stack versus a full orc stack, the game will be over in like 5 minutes. Like, it's not... Unless you have the proper tools to deal with them, that's not a good matchup. However, because I had, twice as many skinks as they do orcs, and I had a lot of source warriors, I was effectively able to hold the line and keep things going. And this is just, as recourse, just been a matter of attrition. I mean, even now though, this is not good. Swords have good morale, and they're at half right now, and they're at half health, and I think at this point, Mazdamundi has used up most of his magic. I think I maybe have one more spell, maybe, I can't remember at this point, but definitely most of his reserves have been spent. And the continuous, reallocation of health points to his units. Everyone's exhausted. It's just a slugfest. And I don't think I'm trying to, aside from, I try to play a few games with these two units over here, finally get those guys to shatter. Gonna bring these guys back in for the rear. I think I put them like right here, hit these guys in the rear. My Croc Cigar's going into a rage against these savage orcs. I really recommend if you're playing mods, play with I like dry range texture overhaul, like for all the factions. This is just vanilla. And actually, I don't know if something's going on with the shaders or something. Some things are too bright, some things are weirdly, So apologies about that. It doesn't look the best, I don't think, but it's not lagging. There's a lot of units on the screen. Everybody's got to be happy about that. So still a lot of stuff going on over here. Now this is what I like, because this is like, this is old school Total War combat. Two units slammed together, a war of attrition and morale. Especially these two heavy hitters. It's kind of hard to even if you take the foundation and change it to something like Medieval Total War, it is a little hard to compare. because it's just so different. But like if you had like two human armies fighting each other, the goal was to be, one of the goals I should say, was to be very similar to what you might find in a realistic version of these, which are something like Stainless Steel, for instance, or other Total War games. I'm a big fan of Roma Surrectum for Rome 1. If you haven't played Rome 1 or played Roma Surrectum for Rome 1, I highly recommend it. DEI for Rome 2, really, really good. I've always self-modded all my Total War games. It's like personal liking, you know what I mean? Master of Strategy Master of Strategy is if you haven't played, if you know of Shogun 2 Total War and you know of Master of Strategy, I think Master of Strategy, the mod, had the best campaign strategy elements of any mod of any Total War game I've ever played. I just felt more, because the strategy is kind of lacking in most Total War games. It's more about the tactical element. You know, they do tactical pretty well, I think. It's probably the best strategy game for tactical sort of medieval style warfare and earlier. But the strategy is really meh at best, and I think the best it's ever been, in my opinion, is Master of Strategy for Shogun 2 Total War. So I sort of took Master Strategy and made my own mod with it that changed the tactical side. The strategy on that side was just the bomb. Things like that, you know. Again, Stainless Steel. Third Age Total War. I'm a big fan of Third Age Total War. Let's see what else I can try and think of. I think that's, you know, those are the main inspirations behind not only this mod, but the way up. See, this isn't good because I got my skinks, my veteran skinks running away here, and these orc boar boys end up running over here. I knew I had to move my Mazdamundi, or it's gonna end up getting hacked to pieces here. Never good when swords start to rage. Not a good thing. And the Kroxigor is even getting really low on health. Haven't lost the model yet, but really, or at least the models that remain, but significantly lower on health than they were. Even my Temple Guard, worse for wear, lower than 50%. Not doing the best at all. Getting my veteran skinks back. You know, these guys are going to be the game changer right here. This is actually the unit that wins me the game. These 17 skinks are gonna change the layout of the map. Just you watch. They're gonna come over here, decide not to go head first into this engagement. Instead, cut down this tree, lands on these orcs, cause them to mass panic and rout. Win the game for me. Skinks are the best. Intelligence over brawn. You know what I'm saying? Alright, these Sword Spears are still tanking it. It really would have helped out if they could have got a rear charge on my source over here, which may be what they're doing. But again, everyone's just so exhausted at this point. If I was fighting someone like one of the undead factions, that would have been this would be the point at which they excel. Because now everything's exhausted, and you just have shit tons of undead left still. Zombies, skeletons. You just come in. If you have fresh units, or units I should say that don't suffer from fatigue, and you're throwing them into exhausted units, oh, it's almost a slaughter. I mean, it depends on what it is, but it's bad news bears. Okay, so I started routing. I think I was focusing in on like the weakest unit over here, which happened to be I think these archer boys, and hopefully what I'm hoping for, doesn't look like it's happening right now, is that these guys routing will then cause the rest of the orcs to then want to rout. So not looking like that so far. Kroxigor's lost the model, down significantly in health over here. Not looking good at all. Mazdamundi, I think, had to like pull back. Yeah, he was kind of in a little bit of a melee there for a second. Got pretty low on health. I had to pull him back, but now he's in a situation where these boar boys can actually come and try and get him. He's isolated. Wasn't in a good spot. I have no more reserves. I can't like take a skink unit from, pull it out of my ass somewhere and have them defend Mazdamundi from these boar boys. It's just not a good situation for me. I managed to get these chameleon skinks to come into the back, and I think they're going to spend the rest of their ammunition routing this and maybe doing a little bit of damage, but then I have to send them into melee and into the backs of these orcs over here. And look at this, look at this. Look at the health on these Saurus Spears. 35 guys, health dropping fast. Not a good place to be. There you go, there's the Savage Orc boys coming in with the charge on Mazda Mundi. Not a lot of models left in that unit. All are exhausted. They're in the forest. All these things contributing to the fact that the charge is not the best. I think Mazda Mundi suffered a little bit of damage, and it's going to suffer a little bit more in the while he's trying to get out of there. But I'm feverishly clicking him out of there. I'm like, you need to get out of there, Maz. You're in a bad spot. You need to get back. What I'm going to end up having him try and do is just get in the middle of these Saurus over here. These chameleons have used all of their ammunition. I think at this point I send him in. I say, good luck, boys. We need the melee. We need to do something here. We need to change the prospects of the future. And it's not a bad idea. These orcs are close to routing themselves. Hopefully with a little encouragement from behind, they can get scared enough that they run away. That was a mad dash by that Bastillodon. So yeah, it's just continuously, Maz is getting hit. He's even lower in health. He's dangerously close to dying himself. But I'm gonna just keep clicking him. Let's get the fuck in there, Maz. I keep saying there's one or two boar boys that he's got to deal with, but I'm telling him, get in between those Saurus. Still have some health on these chameleon skinks and his prize. Or ammo, I should say, but I think I'm gonna send him in now. If they make the charge any minute here. Unless I'm mistaken. Might have been doing micro somewhere else. These guys shattered. No, they're terrified. They're terrified, I think, of that Bastillodon. I believe. See, these chameleon skinks, unfortunately, didn't do as much moral damage as I wanted them to do. Thankfully, these orc boys right in front having some morale issues themselves. Come on, you gonna charge in? I don't know. What a lazy player, this guy. And then we got, the one Proxigor! Alone, all alone, so low on health, so far away from his spawning pool. Not very far, actually, but, you know, it's 41 kills for this unit. He's super close to dying. At this point in the campaign, again, because the economy wasn't the way I wanted to, Proxigors were not easy to replenish, so I didn't want to lose that unit. Unfortunately, it's not looking too good. I managed to get Maz enough into this pack of Saurus that he wasn't in. I mean, I just said, well, he's going to have to do. Look at that health. Sliver of that health. Not a good spot. I think the AI is trying to. Thankfully, routing. The Savage Orc Boys finally fucking routing. And shattered, as a matter of fact. But it's not looking good, man. There's a whole nother unit of Savage Orc Boar Boys. 3 units of Savage Orcs versus my Saurus Warriors. Keep in mind, veteran Saurus Warriors. Got 4 chevrons on that one. But still, there's not a lot left of them. It's gonna be. Oh, I think what happened. Oh, nice. They're starting to break over here, I think. Definitely this side, these 2 orc boys, if we can get them to flank, I think they don't like the Bastillodon at all. Then we can have a major mass rout on this side, and hopefully maybe shatter some units or cause them not to come back. I can free up these guys, come in and hit the backs of them. We can have a win the game over here. I did end up coming in with the chameleon skinks in the rear, but just, I mean, that might be too little too late. I mean, this guy's got such little health, 7,000 health now. And like 23 models, not a good place to be for those spears. Oh, and they come back. Look at that. They're routing. They're not routing. They don't know what they want to do. They're close. They're not close. This Bastillodon really needs to do some work, cause some pain. Even the Temple Guard here, really close to being in a tough spot, tough situation. I think I can't remember where my our veteran went. I know, I'm pretty sure he didn't die. I'm not sure. Things I'm not sure about. So, I think at this point I felt safe again about my money pulling back because I believe their Savage Orc Boar Boys are like interspersed enough in here and so exhausted that they're not gonna. Oh no, that guy right there. I spoke too soon. I'm pretty sure the AI is in fact trying to get a charge off on Mazda when he's trying to push these guys through. Thankfully, Source are just too big and nasty for that to just go straight through. Still not looking good. We're in a tight war of attrition, teeth gnawing war of attrition here, where this every blow counts, every second of health that we lose or take away from them, very important. Somehow, beyond all, I mean, I wouldn't have thought if these Source Spears are just hanging in there somehow, just like giving away ground slowly, but just keeping it together. So close to dying themselves. 4,000 health. Just to give you an idea, these guys have 23,000 health left on the Savage Orc Boar Boys and 14,000 on the Savage Orcs. Just complete mismatch. They're even low on morale, close to breaking themselves. Minus 74 morale just from the damage sustained. But thankfully, the orcs are themselves quite demoralized. If I can get this guy to break, this one will follow, hopefully. These orc boys over here, orc arrow boys coming back, rallying. Things are not looking good at all. I'm not going to be able to win this war of attrition at this point. It's quite obvious that if nobody routed from here on to the end of the game, I would lose. It's not, I cannot trade for them blow for blow, not even close. I just have to make them run away. I got to make them feel like they can't win. They have to run. And the only way I can do that is somehow maybe playing around with the which unit is close to falling away and which one is tough. So these chameleon skinks are running. Oh, now my unit is dangerously close to running itself. These chameleon skinks, I'm telling them they need to concentrate on this orc boy over here, but it doesn't matter. They charge in, get another charge bonus, so morale goes straight up. Then it comes straight back down again as the chameleon skinks are recognized as flanking attack leadership loss. These Source Spears absolutely getting wrecked over here. Not a good thing. I don't know, how would you feel if you were Mazdamundi? He doesn't, I would venture to guess he's not in a very comfy spot. Looking at this now, I would think this is my last stand. In retrospect, I probably should have brought Mazdamundi over here to the Temple Guard just to make that last stand. May have been more thematic. But I knew that the Temple Guard were very unlikely to rout, whereas these guys are more so, and they can use the leadership buff that Maz is given. Although if you were in the middle, he probably could give it to everybody, but we're just getting slowly taken down. But the Bastillodon doing work at half health, probably has killed, I don't know, 65 people at this point, and actually causes this Savage Orc War, the Savage Orcs to rout, which causes its friend, which has been wavering for a large portion of this engagement, to rout as well. These two units routing are going to have a detrimental effect on the morale of the other orcs around here. I think the AI must have realized this was an issue, sent these Savage Orc War Boys in over here. And my Bastillodon can get in a few few more good hits like that cause major morale damage, maybe specifically this unit of Savage Orc Boys. Savage Orc Boys, I am sorry, I keep doing that. They have a low morale, especially in comparison to the other two units here. If we could break them, it will then cause a chain effect, hopefully, on the last two remaining units. And even though these guys are rallying, it's if I can get enough of them to break at one time, it could lead to a winning situation for me. I think, yeah, my Sword Spears finally broke over here. Just not having a good time. 9 of them left. Less than 1,000 health on these guys. These guys are near death, so near death, and they're just getting out of there. They're getting out of dodge. They made a valiant attempt. They really kept back a lot of units, but now they're on their way out. You know, watching this as I am, I can't believe, spoilers, I win this, but I just can't believe it, actually, watching this replay. I don't remember how. I don't know what happened. Must have been they just, had a, oh, man. Oh, draw. Oh, Lordy Jesus. I thought I won this. Did I get a draw on this battle? Oh, done. It could be that the replay screwed up. Sometimes they have that. Not often, but sometimes the replays do get screwed up. But I don't know. It might have been a draw. I don't recall. I thought I won. But as you can see, they lost like 1,000 troops. They didn't have. They only had 2,200. I lost a significant portion of my army. Most of my army was lost in that battle. I mean, look at the health bars on most of these guys. The Bastillodon came out okay, but everybody else is having a bad day. And some of my units, the Temple Guard coming in hot with 279 kills, but it doesn't match up to the skink killing madness of these Savage Orcs. Just absolutely annihilating. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.